The metal shutter clatters up before sunrise, and the first thing you touch isn't a tool, it's a stack of bills that smells like sweat and gasoline. In Northeast Mexico, cash is normal. Silence is cheaper. A friend of a friend says you're getting partners. They don't negotiate. This is your life, level by level, inside a Zetas money machine. Level 1: the founder, cash-only startup. Your first investment is fear, not money. You open a business that looks boring on purpose, an auto shop with a small tow truck, a hand-painted sign, and a register that never quite closes. You sweep the bay, you wipe grease off your hands, you count bundled bills on a folding table in the back. You buy prepaid phones at an OXXO and keep them in a drawer with rubber bands and receipts. You accept deliveries at 11:40 p.m., always off camera, always in the same unmarked envelopes. The offer arrives through a friend of a friend, protection and guaranteed customers. The price is 2 sets of numbers, one for the SAT, one for the men who show up without knocking. You tell yourself it's just security. You tell yourself every business pays something. You tell yourself you're still the owner. Then they order you to hire a mechanic you didn't interview, and you sign his payroll like it's normal. Your shop isn't a shop anymore. It's a mouth, and cash is what you're feeding it. Level 2: the front company operator. Success looks legitimate until you notice who audits you. The expansion looks clean from the street. New signage, fresh paint, another small office across town with a different name on the lease. On paper, it's different owners, different partners, different tax IDs. In reality, it's the same back room, the same folding table, the same stacks of bills wrapped in bank bands. You keep folders of invoices that don't match inventory and receipts that can be found later. You learn the mechanics. Cash deposits stay under reporting thresholds. Payroll grows with names that never clock in. A bar shows busy nights, even when the stools are empty. Repairs get billed twice, once in reality and once in ink. You tell yourself it's accounting help. You tell yourself it's temporary. You tell yourself the paperwork is the protection. The audits don't come from the government. They come with rifles slung low, asking why you bought your wife a new SUV and where your kid goes to school. Legitimacy becomes a costume, and they're the ones holding the zipper. Level 3: the cross-border launderer, U.S. access. You finally get a bank, now the bank owns you. Texas air conditioning hits your skin like a reward. You sit under fluorescent lights with a clipboard, not a cash drawer. You form an LLC, open an account, and learn how calm a wire transfer looks compared to a duffel bag. Mexico side cash becomes business revenue on U.S. statements, then moves again small, routine, boring until it returns clean enough to buy land, trucks, or another storefront. They give you a story that can swallow money: horses, quarter horse papers, training bills, feed invoices, auction payments, stud fees. Buy, breed, train, race, sell, repeat. Never one huge deposit. Never one obvious transfer. You tell yourself this is sophistication. You tell yourself you've graduated. You tell yourself forms and signatures are just formalities. Then you realize every document you touch is a timestamp with your name on it. The bank doesn't free you. It preserves you, like evidence sealed in plastic. You've learned to hide cash and move it across a border without shaking. Now they stop asking for paperwork and start asking you to fund people, radios, routes, and silence across an entire city. Level 4: Plaza Finance Chief, the Radio City. You don't move money for a business anymore, you feed an entire plaza's daily appetite. The first thing you hear is the radio. Not music code, clipped Spanish, call signs. You keep 3 phones on the desk and a legal pad filled with numbers that don't look like anything until they're totaled. A runner drops off envelopes from curbside collections. Bars on Avenida Hidalgo, a tire shop by the Pemex Road, a bus line that pays weekly. You count, band, log. You rotate stash houses like you rotate tires. Every night has a rhythm. Pickup times, payment windows. 2 men for security, 1 for driving, 1 for counting. You track gasoline, ammo, food, and funerals like line items. You tell yourself it's administration. You tell yourself it's order. You tell yourself you're keeping things calm. But the plaza wants more than accounting. You advance cash for radios, for safe cars, for a lawyer who answers at 3 a.m. You cover shortages and then claw them back with interest. When a collector doesn't show, you're the one who decides whether it's a mistake, a theft, or a message. At this level, money isn't wealth, it's blood pressure, and you're the cuff tightening it. Level 5 Diversification King, call, horses, and hostages. You stop hiding cash inside businesses and start building businesses that manufacture cash. You spend mornings in clean boots and afternoons in dust. One day you're at a horse ranch outside Reynosa, checking papers and microchips, watching a trainer walk a nervous colt in a tight circle. The next day you're at a warehouse with plastic IBC tanks, counting liters and smelling fuel that shouldn't be there. At night, you sit in a restaurant where the air is cold and the bill never comes. Your ledger isn't just income. It's streams, fuel taps on a pipeline map, protection, contracts for construction crews, used car lots with inflated sales, kidnapping ransoms recorded as loan repayment. You tell yourself it's diversification. You tell yourself it's resilience. You tell yourself you're turning chaos into predictable cash. The power is that you can float operations. You prepay drivers. You front bribes at a checkpoint. You buy calm with envelopes, municipal cops, transit inspectors, a clerk at the registry office who stamps anything. And when a family begs for time, you have to price the time. You're no longer laundering money. You're laundering people's days, turning fear into a receipt. Level 6 The Cartel Billionaire, Disposable Asset. You can fund a war with a phone call, and you can disappear just as fast. The office is quiet on purpose. No logos, no trophies, just a desk, a printer with fresh toner, and a safe bolted into concrete. You don't touch street cash anymore, you touch decisions. A pilot's fee, a shipment insurance fund, a payoff schedule broken into envelopes labeled by date and unit. You move money through importers, real estate trusts, and consulting invoices that read like weather. Your calendar is security. Routes, decoys, safe houses, medical kits, spare plates. You eat at different tables, exit through kitchens, never park in the same place twice. You tell yourself this is control. You tell yourself this is survival. You tell yourself you're indispensable. The burden is that everything becomes a vote on your continued existence. One seized load and somebody wants a head. One loose accountant and somebody wants a confession. You pay for loyalty in cash, but you measure it in silence. And silence has a market. You finally sit on a mountain of money, and discover it's just a higher floor in the same burning building. There's always another folder, another phone, another quiet signature that moves weight you never physically touch. The numbers get bigger, the rooms get cleaner, the guards get closer. You learn that cash can cross borders, names can be swapped, invoices can be invented, but the one thing you can't launder is being known. Power is just visibility with armed security.